Welcome, everybody. This is George K. with Action Coach. This is an Entrepreneur Spotlight interview, and we've got Bianca here with us. And Bianca, can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Of course. So I'm the owner of a marketing agency called Global Lincks, but I founded in 2005 in Brazil. I am from Brazil. And it started only with myself as a solopreneur.
A real
But
solopreneur.
exactly. But now, besides my clients in Brazil, as we left Brazil in 2015, I opened a second unit in Orlando, Florida, and then now I'm in Montreal. So I'm working with clients in Brazil, the US, and then also in Canada. Not only with marketing services, but also with the mentorship and consulting. But almost 100% of my clients are from the real estate industry.
Okay, so I'm sure everyone who's watching this is going to ask the question in their head, why Montreal? You go Brazil, US, Canada, it's just getting colder and colder and colder. Why?
Well, when we had our second daughter, we decided to provide her like a safety place to grow up.
Okay.
So that's why we left Brazil. We were having good time in business. The company was just like the best moment because as the real estate industry was like booming,
Mm-hmm.
I had big clients with celebrities, even the soccer player Neymar. I had him coming to visit our model home. So there's a lot of buzz, let's say. But my husband and I, we decided we needed to leave to feel more secure, like
So
safe.
yeah, better opportunities for your kids. I mean,
Exactly.
that's the classic that's the classic immigrant story, right? And I love it because entrepreneurship helps to give you the freedom to be able to do that, doesn't it?
So we decided that in 2013, I said, my gosh, I've been doing like events in person. How can I change that to online? So then at that time, I started
Ah,
doing some courses and training. So I did the certification from HubSpot to learn about inbound marketing, what it is. So how can I provide my clients with online services? So then in 2015, we left Brazil and then we went first to Orlando because there's a big community, Brazilian
mm-hmm.
community
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And then I met a friend that was living there, and then he sent us everything. Come here, you can study here, live here, all the information that we need. But then after 2 years, my husband finished his English course, and then to apply to be for the green card was not easy.
Mm.
Trump had just assumed, that
Yeah, I get it. I
time
get it.
exactly. So then a friend of mine that was living in Canada, she said, "Why don't you come here? So it's easier sometimes to apply for permanent residency. So it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be easier for you guys, and then that's it." And then we decided to come, but she was living in Bathurst, New Brunswick. I don't know if you know.
I
It's
don't
east.
know where Bathurst is, but when you say New Brunswick versus Montreal or Toronto, I get the picture.
Exactly. So we went there. So I did the French course, and then we had our third daughter. So it was the
Wow.
best place to have a child. So the community
Mm-hmm.
gathered together helped us a lot. So that was the right decision at the time. So as soon as we got our documents and everything else, I thought, it's time to go back to my business because
Mm-hmm.
it's been so great being mom like 100% of the time, but I missed to have like access to clients, big companies. That's what Orlando and Montreal provides, like access
Mm-hmm.
to a different market. So that's why in 2019 we arrived in Montreal. But during that time, I've been working still with the clients from Brazil and then still from Orlando.
Wow.
So yeah,
Even while you're raising your girls?
Exactly. I mean, I'm not a workaholic anymore. Now I work like smartly. So
You're a
that
recovering workaholic.
exactly. So that's some advice that I want to give to the entrepreneurs.
Now
So
we'll get to that in a second, but I'm curious about your juggling motherhood and career, because I think that's something that a lot of women struggle with. Talk to me about what were some of the ways that you were able to manage both of those types of responsibilities.
I had to learn time management.
Mm.
So to spend more time with the girls because um, I don't have boys. So imagine three girls always like talking, and it's a different it's a different concept. So they need me almost all the time. So I learned a bit of time management. So if I want to stay with them more time, I need to wake up earlier. I
Mm.
need to read. I need to do my like exercise, my routine before they wake up. So that's why I started applying the concept of the 5 a.m. club that works really well. Gives
Mm-hmm.
me like peace of mind to start my day, knowing that I did everything that I needed to do. And then I go to do lunchbox and then breakfast and then bring them to school. So, and then during the day, I have my to do list. So, but with the time like passing, I realized that as I am organized, I was reaching more my goals easier, in an easier way. So I applied organization skills all the time. So like, calendar, tasks, everything.
I'm
Everything
laughing
is booked.
because these are the types of things that we talk to our clients about all the time. The idea that you can get more done in less time if you apply certain principles, certain time management principles and prioritization. We have a tool called a default calendar, which basically promotes rituals. You were talking about rituals, you were talking about routine. These are the types of practices that allow busy people to get all of the important things done. So, and it sounds to me like you set a priority around spending time with your girls, and you were able to use those skills to make it happen.
Exactly. And then one time I realized that I was with them, but my mind was not there. So that
Yes.
is, my goodness, I'm losing these precious moments because I'm worried about my clients, the things that I need to deliver. So then I also start like focusing on the present moment.
Mm.
So that's a powerful book, The Power of Now. So um, when I started doing that, I felt like relieved. I'm here. I'm gonna do this later. So now I'm 100% here. So that was like a big change in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was not like stressed. I was like more calm. It's not easy always. It's like cycles. I think sometimes we are busier. Sometimes we don't have a lot of things to do. But I think this is important to make
Yeah,
sure you are 100%
absolutely.
there, looking at their eyes, hugging and feeling that feeling.
Yeah, and obviously those skills are completely transferable, right? When you're completely with your clients, that's a good thing, right? When you're completely with your
Exactly.
family, that's a good thing. When you're completely with your suppliers, that's a good thing. So those are transferable skills, and I could see how that's benefited you. If you contrast maybe some of the ways you were before you learned these techniques, these systems, these ways of living, what have you seen as the benefits? What have you seen as the trade-off of these new ways of thinking?
So before I was always like burnt out,
Mm.
like panic attack, like it's stress, like screaming, like no control at all. So then I thought, I mean, I need to get wiser with the time, and also I'm an example for them. When I
Mm.
saw them reacting like I was doing, I said, no, 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 that's not right. I need to be a better example. So that's why I said, I need to learn. So I have now I still have a coach. So
Hmm.
every 2 weeks, I have a coaching session with her, and then she's teaching me everything. So about that's the importance of to have someone holding your hand.
Mm.
So she said, you need to read this book, you need to watch this video, you need to apply these techniques, routines. So there's a lot of different tools that she gave me, like we call like V0. It's velocity zero. You stay focused on your kid, and then you forget about everything. You just focus. So this kind of it seems to be like simple, and it, but it's so powerful.
All right. So if you think about what a lot of people say, they say things like, oh, well, I am who I am. This is my nature. You know, everyone's got their thing. I can't change who I am. I'm just going to make the best of it. What would you say to people who say that when it comes to some of these habits, rituals, ways of behaving?
What I have to say is stop suffering. We have this choice. Because before I didn't know that I have the choice to be different. I thought, that's the way I am. This is, I've been doing the things and that the way. But I mean, at one time I said, enough. I don't want to feel these anymore because I love working. But I was so focused on my work that I couldn't look at it,
Mm.
at that time that you can't even look at because you're just like full enough. So then I said, no, I need to find a balance because I know that some gurus say, no, there's no balance at all, but I believe in balance. I try to find a way to balance my routine, like the percentage of the time that I have to dedicate. If I'm not able to finish, and the perfectionism.
Perfectionism? Yes.
My gosh, I was super perfectionist. Like, no, this is not perfect. This is not perfect. So then I worked in my traumas and the way that my mom and my dad raised me. There's a lot of going on that. So I don't need to act as I was taught because I have an option. So when I found out that I have an option to be a different person and in a different level, in a better level, I said, that's what I want. And I was just open. And I said, I know I have a lot of things that I need to change, and let's start it.
Okay, so let's put the CEO hat on, right? And say ROI. Talk to us about the ROI, the return on your investment in making these changes. Because some people will say, yeah, okay, she feels better, she sleeps better, she has a more, cozy relationship with her daughters, but business, hard numbers, is this or did these changes give you a return on your investment?
So I see life not only with the business area. So what I
Mhm.
learned, I put all the areas of my life. It's like a circle of life.
The
So
wheel. Hmm.
the wheel, exactly, the wheel of life. And then I said, what are my goals in my business? So I aligned that goals to go with the other areas of my life, because in the past I was putting all my efforts to reach like high goals, because that's what we learn sometimes when we watch some trainings from people that just talks about business,
Right.
and then they forget about the marriage. It's
Yeah, I made
important.
$1 million and I had
Health.
a heart attack.
Exactly, health. And then I want to live like longer. So those are the kind of things that I saw when I decided my goals. So I have every year the goals that I want to achieve, like financially, the investment, my company, number of clients, my mentorship program, how many people I want them to be in, but my daughters and my husband. So where I want to go. I want to go to Florida. I want to go to Discovery Code. And I have my visual board, the visual board with the images. That works super. So every time I reach a goal, I do like check. So that's changed the way that I was like seeing like life, because I was 100% focused on my business, and then the rest is like secondary. If I have time, we can go for a dinner out. If I don't have time, I'm gonna be working. That's it. It is what it is, you know. So that's changed, and
So
then
did
now
those
I feel
changes, did those changes
that
make you more, did these changes make you better at running your business?
um, I think I developed empathy, because
Mm,
sometimes when my employees or my partners say, "Oh, Bianca, I can't do that for that day," and I say, "Really? I have family. My son is sick, whatever." And then at the time, I didn't understand that, because my priority was 100% in the business.
mm-hmm,
And then now I say, "Oh, that's okay. It's life. Take care of your family first, and then the rest will come."
mm.
So there's a part of spirituality also. You know, when you connect to a higher force, a divine force, it all changes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if you take the hard numbers, like the hard numbers around that tells us that organizations that have more engagements or have more empathy with their employees, the output of those employees is greater than organizations that don't have that. So the amount of productivity goes up. Also, the turnover goes down. People are more apt to stay with you, even when times are hard, when that kind of empathy is built into the organization, right? It doesn't mean, of course, that everybody can do whatever they want and it's a party all the time. No, but there's that give and take that allows employees to feel more connected to your organization.
Exactly. And I felt that difference between the three countries.
Mm,
So
okay.
in Brazil, there's sometimes the employees are a bit like tricky. They say,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, my son is sick," but it's not true. And then in the US, it's like focus, results, ROI. No, no, let's focus, work in the weekends. No, 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 no. And then in Canada, I worked with a developer 1 year and a half here as a marketing director. I love it because I mean, I had my family with my kids, and they understood. They said, "That's okay, Bianca. Family is a priority. Take your time. And we know that we can trust in you. You know what you need to do, and that's it." I was super surprised. So I mean, the Canadian culture is it's super
Sounds like
nice, and then,
I was gonna say, it sounds like the Goldilocks story. You know, one's too hot, one's too cold, and one's just right.
exactly. It's like exactly. So that's why. I mean, I needed to get a job here in Canada because a credit score. I wanted to buy a house. So as an entrepreneur, it's not easy, right? To start like a business and at the same time, okay, good credit score, um, and the income. So then that's why I decided to get a job here. And usually, I don't work as an employee, but it was a super a wonderful experience
Mm-hmm.
being an employee from a Canadian company. So I like that.
So talk to us a little bit about what your current focus is. Like what is your organization passionate about doing right now? What are the challenges that you are solving, and what kinds of clients are you serving?
So I have a partner in Orlando. He's taking care of the execution of the marketing agency. So he does all the services, websites, and social media, and all our clients' needs. And then I decided to focus on the consulting and the mentoring, the mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've been doing for the past 4 years, it's creating systems automated.
Mm-hmm.
So put marketing and sales together, working well, but behind the scene, there's some systems so they don't get lost in the
Mm-hmm.
process. Because
Right.
usually there's a competition. Marketing didn't do their job. As a
Mm-hmm.
sales, they're not selling. You know, this
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Yeah, they're always blaming each
communication.
other.
Exactly. So that's why I realized that it would be good for our clients to have like the CRM connected to a marketing automation platform. So when we get the lead through the traffic, we can track everything that the lead
Mm-hmm.
is doing. So then the sales team can see if the lead is hot, warm, or cold, and then they can reach out with like a warmer approach. So I know you download the ebook, so you're interested in learning more about that. The marketing automation. And go ahead.
I was going to ask, is there a market that you serve? Like, are you focused on a specific market, a particular, who is your ideal client?
So my clients are brokers, so agents, brokers, owners of the brokerages, developers, and builders. So it's
Gotcha.
specifically for the real estate industry. As I've been working with this industry since the beginning of my career, for me, it's easier to look at that company and say, oh, this is not right. This is not right. Let's do this and that. And so that's why I kept
Yeah, you're a
working in
subject
marketing.
matter expert in real estate. Gotcha. Now
And
you mentioned partner in Orlando. You mentioned, you still have clients in Brazil. So I'm
that's true.
assuming that you're not regionally focused. You can work with real estate brokers anywhere, or do you want to focus your business on real estate brokers in Quebec, for example?
No, no, no. We work through the MLS, so it's the US and Canada. And then in Brazil, I have a developer that sells land. So we created specific and customized the system. So my focus is the US and Canada because of all the integrations as we work with automation.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to make sure all the systems are integrated and automated. So that's why. But I mean, maybe in the future we can. I speak Portuguese and then now French, so we can go to Europe. But the cool thing, just to add, sorry, when we arrived in Montreal, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I don't know how to speak French like well and correctly. I started doing the francisation,
Mm-hmm.
and then I didn't have the patience to learn this kind of like conversations that like a tourist. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do the real estate program, so then I will learn what I love in French. So I
Good
did
idea.
all the courtier immobilier program, and at the end I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to do the exam, OSAQ exam or not, because I mean I didn't want to pursue the career.
Mm-hmm.
So then I decided to take the, the exam just to make sure I closed that cycle. And then I got my license. So it was good for me because I was in their shoes. So
Mm-hmm.
I act as an agent. I went to the events. I got a listing. I went to all these systems and programs. So that was a great experience for me.
Yeah.
And then after 1 year, I said, no, that's not for me. I like teaching. I like helping agents. I like explaining to them how they can improve their business.
Is there a particular size of brokerage firm that works best for your types of services?
I mean, I have mentorship programs for groups. So it's solo agents works well. And then I have also specifically mentorship programs for brokerages. And the marketing consulting is for the developers and builders. So I have three different services for
Mm-hmm.
each of the segments.
Wow, excellent. All right, so as we're coming to the conclusion of this interview, and this has been a great interview, I've learned a lot. If you had to, let's say, go back in time, let's say 5, 10 years, and give yourself like business advice and let's say personal advice, let's just say the two. Let's start maybe with business. What advice would you give yourself in terms of business advice to maybe solve some of the challenges?
When I started my business, I was 23 years old.
Mm-hmm.
If I could go back in time, I would start as an employee in a
Ah,
marketing agency for sure.
okay.
Because it took time for me to understand the business.
Mm.
Because I started a business without knowing anything about the business. So that was like a mistake,
Okay. Okay.
I would say. And then the second advice, I would hire coaches, mentors, consultants since the day one. Because after 5 years, I hired a consultant, and then he changed my business because I had like a big structure, a big rented place, 15 employees, no tracking of the time. So I did a lot of mistakes, a lot. And then the consultant said, "Oh no, go to a co-working. Focus in what you are good at. So
Mm.
consulting is you are good at consulting. So so yeah."
So cut out a lot of the fat. I get it. And personal, if you can go back.
um, I would say I would enjoy more life,
Hmm.
like being more present. So
Mm.
that was another mistake. Always worried, and then I would have more faith, hope,
Yeah.
faith, and believe in everything that will eventually end well.
Yeah, I get it. Excellent. So what's the best way for people to connect with you, to reach out to your business?
So we have a website. I have the website of my agency. It's globallincks.com. And also I have a website for my mentorship program. And then there's a new training that I will start in September. That's artificial intelligence for marketing and sales. It's all about tools, automate tools, integrate with your business, and save time. Because saving time is connecting to have like a balanced life.
Yeah.
So I'm focused on learning how to save my time so then I can spend my time with my girls, with my husband, with my family. And I want to teach that.
Mm. Yeah.
So that's my website, biancalinks.com. And also on Instagram, I've been posting some tips about AI, and on LinkedIn also.
Wonderful. Well, Bianca, this has been great. I think that anyone who's been watching this understands that soft skills have a place in business. The idea that you learned how to create rituals in your life, routine in your life, prioritize family and business, and to be able to say, hey, I'm doing well in my business and I'm doing well in my personal life. I think that's the reason why most entrepreneurs get into business. They want freedom, they want financial freedom, but they also want time freedom. And that's something that I think every entrepreneur is really looking for. So thank you so much for sharing those tips with us and for showing us that this stuff works in a practical way.
Exactly. It was a pleasure.